Hello, my name is Marilyn, and I'm here to take you on a journey with me on the road to self discovery, self love, and empowerment. And I wanted to start by explaining my journey from the very beginning. So, I'm going to talk today about the healing journey, exactly what that means, because it means something different to everybody. So, for me, the healing journey all began, I'd probably say about a year and a half ago. I was living in what felt like continuous turmoil within. I had like negative spiral thoughts. I wasn't able to, even though I was surrounded by people that I enjoyed spending time with, I felt very, very alone. I felt disconnected from so many different people and situations, and I just felt like I wasn't who I was. I felt like I didn't know who I was. I wasn't following the path perhaps that I wanted to. I had a job that I enjoyed. I have a lovely family, a lovely home, and despite all of these things, I felt rock bottom. I was literally at the bottom of a pit, unable to get out. Um, and wherever I went, I felt like I was continuously being faced with a huge wall. I didn't feel that I was able to get past it. My life was based on approval from other people. I always felt like I was letting people down continuously with my actions, with my own true thoughts on things. I would say I felt like I wasn't able to say how I felt ever. And excuse me, I found myself, like I said, it was about a year and a half ago. I found myself in who I can proudly say she's one of my good friends now, in a room with a tarot reader, and within this room, she literally uncovered everything that was inside here, like everything spilt out, all of my fears, how I felt inside, what I thought about myself, the words that I was saying to myself inside. And she was like, no, 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 stop this right now. And having the ability to spend time with someone who can project back to you exactly how you felt was I think the turning point for me. It was an hour. I was crying throughout a lot of it, I would say, but it was the realization of how low I had been feeling, and how desperately I wanted things to change, how desperately I wanted to feel different to how I was feeling. And she explained to me that, she was talking about all this stuff that I didn't recognize. She's going, she talked about reading, about learning, about self-discovery, about hypnotherapy. She talked about so much of stuff that I hadn't done, but I kind of thought about some of the things, but I didn't really realize what she meant. I took everything on the nose. I was like, okay, okay. And she gave me lots of advice. I was like, okay, great. So she's, you're going to be on this amazing spiritual journey for however long. And I thought, okay, well, it must be better than where I am now. And from then on, I then, through one of my friends, met up with, I did a course in London, like a day's course of discovering yourself. My friend is a coach herself, and she combined herself with another coach to do this one day. It was a workshop. So, we had like a whiteboard and things that you wrote down on there, and you had to work through things. You had like a workbook, and people were discussing how they felt. And it wasn't until I went into that room and I sat down with those, like, I think there was about 10 or 12 other ladies. And when the coach started to speak her story, there was just this instant connection of that's exactly how I feel, that's exactly how I'm feeling now. And as her story unfolded, I connected with it so strongly. Like, she looked at me, I looked at her, and it was this just undeniable knowing that, I can see you. So I did this day course, which was the connection with these other women who were all there for different reasons, but we all had the same thing in common. There was lack of self-love, lack of self-care, lack of priority. That we didn't prioritize ourselves, we prioritized everybody else other than ourselves. And this to me was it was the turning point in terms of what started me off on this healing journey. So a healing journey is, to me, it's a journey of going within. It's going within and finding out who you are, your behaviours, why you are the way you are. And we all know that, our childhood, it makes us who we are. It forms patterns in behaviour. It forms patterns in beliefs. And I had, I did have a happy childhood in many ways, but I was also controlled by my father, who was a very difficult, manipulative man, very critical. And I lived in fear my whole life. So therefore, I felt I wasn't able to express myself safely. So I never felt safe to express myself. So therefore, as I grew older, I couldn't voice my thoughts because I felt unsafe to. I felt that if I was, then somebody would shout at me, somebody would hurt me, replaying the things that happened as a child. So I felt very small. And so the healing journey for me has all been about self-discovery. It's about working with my feelings. How do I feel? Where do I feel them? What do I say about myself? How can I overcome this? What can I do in the future to diminish these thoughts, to diminish these feelings? What can I replace with these actions? What can I replace with these thoughts? And I eventually, all of this work has been done through coaches who have been mentors to me. It's been, for me, it's almost like I needed guidance. I mean, you can, of course, do all of this by yourself. You can get, healing books, you can get journals, you can do everything yourself. It's there for the taking, though I felt that I needed somebody to guide me, because that was my whole life. I was always waiting for someone to tell me what to do and how to do it. So it just felt right that, I worked with these incredible coaches over the last year, and it has felt like, I've been lucky enough to be off for a whole year from work, apart from 2.5 weeks. So for me, it's felt like I have been on this 1-year retreat, and in that 1-year retreat, so much has changed for me in terms of how I talk, how I communicate, how I behave, how I listen to other people, what lights me up, what's important to me. And by doing the work that I did with the coaches, it enabled me to work through all of these things. And it's true what they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And with all of these things that you do, you only get out what you put in. And I was so, you need, for these kind of things to happen, like this kind of self-healing journey, there needs to be a catalyst for it to happen. And my catalyst was, I cannot bear to live with myself anymore. I don't like who I am. I don't like what I've become. I don't like what I stand for. That was my catalyst. I knew that how I was feeling wasn't right, and then I realised that actually I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my behaviour. I'm able to change these regardless of my age, regardless of excuse me, what I do. And I was desperate to do it because I didn't like how I spoke to my children half the time. I didn't like how I was critical, how I used manipulation. sometimes, not because I wanted to, it's because that's how I had learnt to behave from my dad, by using manipulation. So, you know, to hurt people, then that's how I gained control. And I wanted to get rid. You know, I saw this in people I didn't like. I saw this behaviour and it was reflecting back onto me, and I thought, I can see me in you and I don't like you, so therefore I'm going to change all of this. I want to change all of it. So that's exactly what I did, by doing things like meditation, which I've been doing for the last year. So I meditate every single day, and I can sincerely say, with hand on heart, that has helped me so much. It has improved my life, by clearing out all the rubbish, clearing out the negativity, making space for being me and being present and being here. By allowing that all to go, it allows other stuff to come in. So what you release, more things will come in, like grace will fill. And that's what I feel like I've been doing. So my intuition has heightened immensely. Like, spirituality and intuition is my most favourite topic. And I've had some really interesting experiences over the last little while, which I will share in as I go down with these stories. But yeah, my intuition has shot up because I understand who I am. I understand. I can hear my thoughts. I can hear my feelings. I've allowed my heart to open up where before I was so closed. So all of these things that I've done through the courses that I've done have allowed me not only to discover who I am, but also to have a voice. I never had a voice. I was afraid to say how I felt, and this carried through in all parts of my life, communicating with my partner, communicating with people at work, dealing with things. I suppressed things for so long, to the point where I wasn't able to say what I wanted when I wanted. And I was like, come on, girl, you are a woman. You're not a small child anymore. And that's what I felt like. I felt like I was a little girl. I was a little girl who hadn't grown up. I couldn't make decisions by myself. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And I thought, do you know what? I can't do this anymore. I need to be the person I want to be. By going down this road, and the healing journey, it's not just I've done it for a year now. I'm done. I'm healed. It's not that at all. It's a continuous journey. It's a continuous staircase where I'm so thirsty to learn more about things. I've learned so much about the mind, the nervous system, how we operate. I've learned so much about intuition. I've learned so much about different dimensions. I've learned so much about death and about birth and about life. Life before life begins. I've just absorbed all of this in, and not only have I discovered who I am, I've also discovered talents that I never realised that I had. And I never knew that I would actually be able to sit in front of a camera like this and talk openly and freely and completely in a vulnerable way, because ultimately this is what I want to do. Is I want to show people that there is a way out of stuckness. There is a way out of relationships that have gone bad. There's life after parents dying and siblings dying, and where you think that life can't possibly go on because you're clinging on to something that you felt gave you your identity. So this is a journey that I hope you will share with me. It's been fascinating. I'm so incredibly proud of everything that I've achieved over the last year. There's so much to come as well. I know there's so much in the pipeline. But I'm so excited to share all of this with you. So the healing journey, that was part one. This is just talking about how I've gone down the road and learned how to start the healing process and discover who I am and follow the things that I love doing. And ultimately, if I can do that, I know that I'm going to have the best life. Follow my soul's call, follow my soul's whisper. That's what I'm here to do. So enjoy the ride, guys.